Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're doing good this evening. Well, today I'm going to be trimming one of my onion plants, and we're going to be talking about some of the maybe benefits of doing that, and we're also going to be talking about some of the negatives when you do this. So what happened was I made a video about 5 days ago. It was kind of an update video on my onions are really doing good this year. Well, in the comments, some people suggested trimming them where they bend over. Some people said not to. Now, I'm going to leave a link to that video in the description so you can read these comments. But I didn't even realize that trimming them was a thing. And so I'm really glad that somebody left those comments because I've done a lot of reading. I've learned a lot. Plus, I can make a video and we can do these experiments and see if they work. And you don't have to, you might not lose an onion. I might, but you won't lose your onion to see. So I really do think it's cool because if trimming actually makes the bulb bigger, that's something that I just would have never thought of. So I really am thankful for the comments. Now, before we get into this, two things you want to understand. I'm not an expert when it comes to growing onions. I'm learning a lot, but I am not an expert. And two, we are talking about a specific type of onion in this video, and that is a long day onion. We're not talking about seedlings. We're not talking about green onions. Intermediate, short day. We're just talking about long day onions. So one of the comments I got was trim them and it'll make it bigger. Now they referenced a YouTube video. Another comment I got was don't trim them, and they referenced a YouTube video. So I watched both of those videos, and the one, he said just leave them alone. Don't do anything to them. They'll be fine. The other one, now he had a little bit different angle to it because what he was trying to say was to protect the plant because once they get up so big, they could get top heavy. And then if it bends that plant, your onion could actually think that it's dying and it won't grow, once that top starts bending over. So I think his suggestion was more to protect the plant, but then he made the comment, they'll grow straight after you trim them. So I'm really wondering if this green will grow after I trim it. So I'm gonna check that too. I know a way we can do that and actually see if it does grow. So we're gonna trim this up here in just a second, but this is an interesting thing, and if you're really interested in seeing how this comes out, please subscribe. And I'm all the time doing stuff like this on this channel, and so I am really excited to see if trimming them will make my bulbs bigger. So I'm going to take you over here and we're going to trim this one up, and I'm going to show you another thing that I think why people suggest to trim the tops. So let's go. Okay, so we're talking about this plant right here. And another comment that a viewer made was to remove the dirt, don't let it get around the bulb so much. So on 4 or 5 of them, I did get rid of some of that dirt. Now, the great thing about this is these are long day onions. And right now we are at the 14.5 hour, time frame. So this bulb down here is just going to start forming. So we really will be able to see the difference between one that's been, trimmed up and one that hasn't. So it's a great time to do this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come up here right below that and just cut that off. And any of them that are bent, I'm going to trim these off. Now, I want you to take a look at this. I'm going to try and get this back. You see this right here? And on this onion here, it did the same thing. Once it got bent, it started breaking. And I'm wondering if that isn't why some people suggest trimming this off, because maybe after it gets bent and it gets brown like that, maybe it's just not going to help that plant grow. And if they do grow after you trim them, I can see where that would help. So I'm just going to go through here, and all the leaves that are bent, I'm just going to cut them off. Now, I did watch one video where this guy trimmed his down to about right here, about 4 inches, and it killed every one of them. So I don't recommend doing that, but I'm going to trim that one again, right there. Let's see if we can get it. There we go. And, you know, that's just, I know some of these might be hard to see, but the idea, I guess, I don't know how this works, but the idea is that this will help your bulb get bigger. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to tell you my final thoughts on this and whether I actually think it's going to work or not. Okay, so I talked earlier about doing an experiment to see if these will grow after they've been trimmed. So I'm going to pick this one right here because it's pretty straight up and down. And I'm going to measure this. And it looks right at 22 inches. Easy there, guy. So I can come back and measure this, say, a month later and see if that's grown any. So we will know whether that's true or not. Now, I've done 4 of them, so that's going to give us a pretty good idea on whether the bulbs will get big. Now, some of the potential downside to this is when you trim them like that, some of the articles that I read suggested that it could get disease. You can get pests down in there. And so there are some negatives to this. Now, my personal opinion, I don't understand this. And this is where I would love to have some comments. Look, they're awful big. The green part of the onion is what makes your bulb big. The more mass you have of green, the more layers you will get on your bulb. So I myself, I don't understand how cutting some of that off, whether it's bent, I don't understand how this is going to work. So they're getting big, they're getting all over. So if somebody has an idea on that, I just did not read anything. There were articles that said to do it, but maybe I just didn't understand the idea behind this. So me personally, right now, until I see results, I'm going to say I don't think I would cut them. But we're going to find out here in a couple months. So that's the video. Please let me know what you think. And guys, I hope your gardens are doing good. Well, I'll talk to you later. You guys have a good night. See ya.